Hey, everyone, welcome back to the interview. So today's I'm going to share with you a movie review on a DVD I just finished watching. It's called Hot Rods, Rat Rods, and Kustom Kultures. Back from the Dead. It's basically about custom modding old cars and trucks into like for example, taking like a 1950s say Ford truck, and they keep like the base frame, but everything else is modded. Like, you might have like the 1940s Ford dash or 1940s Chevy steering wheel instead of like the original steering wheel. Or you might have, say, like you might make your own custom trunk or a custom hood. You might make your own custom like this or custom that to add parts. Use like custom parts or use parts from like different older vehicles to make your own that aren't like the same. That aren't like exact same vehicle. Aren't original equipment parts. Maybe from like a 1945 Chevy truck steering wheel. And say a 1950 Ford truck. You know what I mean? Or like a 1940s Ford car dash in a 1950 Ford truck. So you kind of customize different like parts from different vehicles into making one. It's kind of what the movie is all about. They interview, and you find out in the beginning, they tell you about 4 people. They interview like a painter, which does like custom like artwork, like painting on vehicles, freehand, and then for someone, and then one person who does custom, and who does like the building of the cars. One person who's like a professional skateboarder. That's like saying like skateboarding. Apparently, like skateboarding is an art too. Like like building old cars, which kind of is, because you can have like an art form like skateboarding. You can be creative with your tricks and stuff like that, and showcase your tricks and your like your personality, like fashion personality, kind of when you're doing the tricks, like when in like competitions. But you can also, in those old vehicles, you can kind of showcase your personality in the old vehicles, building custom old vehicles as well. And then there's a school teacher they interview. That started like he graduated from school in 1984. Keep in mind, this is from California, and then they interview him, and he does like repair class shop, like some of the people, like if the say teacher needs new tires, he'll buy the tires the teacher wants, and then have the kids put the new tires on the rims, and I'll have them kids take the tires off the vehicle and put the new ones on, do everything for them in time allotted, and then build like old vehicles, and have like the kids build. Basically, like I was saying, like the kids do like all the tire work, and they're building like old trucks, like doing a whole truck. Like kids are set in groups, they're doing like certain parts of the truck. Like one group would do this, one group would do this, one group would do this, and there was an odd kid out. So then he had to do a whole area of this section, and they just randomly picked them by like alphabetical order or just random picked groups, And then they said like there's like all types of people are in this class, And even if you're not into old vehicles, you can learn how to change tires in your own vehicle. If you have that stuff, so or get jobs in this, working at like a repair, like an auto repair shop, like changing tires in vehicles, stuff that could, do basic jobs at like these, like these tire shops, these car repair shops, which is kind of neat. But then, one guy they interview, the first guy, they kind of stretched him out a little bit, like you can see, and like they edited out, like some of the stuff he was just like talking, and then like they, like the questions seemed like were unscripted, because the guy said, I wasn't expecting to ask that question. And then he was kind of like, thinking about his answer. And, stuff like that. And you could see he was like kind of proud of what he was trying to say. He was like kind of going slow at it, and they could have like scripted give more like a thoughtful answer to the question. But they wanted to make it, but they kind of stretched out a little bit. And then like in the beginning, kind of show like the history of like the club and like that, and some of the members cars or in trucks and stuff like that. They kind of go through that a little bit. And I think the interviews they do with is kind of stretched out, to be honest with you. Like the skateboard guy, like they kind of put him in there. I think they're kind of like the pro skateboard guy in there. They kind of stretch it out a little bit. And then at the end they say like they went to a show in Vegas, and it's like a big huge show for this stuff. People look at this stuff, and then people are like, wow. And then they find out about the show, and then they'll like get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they'll try more people to do this or bring their own one down. They find out about the show. The first guy they kind of have, it's kind of interesting, but it's kind of boring. The documentary kind of drags on a little bit. Kind of drags on like a little bit too long, I would say. Like, I pretty much told you the whole movie right there. Like, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of boring a little bit because it kind of drags on. It's like a little too drag on. Like, seriously, like, the movie's like 62 minutes with the credits and everything. But it could be only like 50. It should only be like 45, 50 because it kind of drags on a little bit too much. It's interesting, but just drags on. That's like all I gotta say. Keep it short and simple. I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Just because it drags on a little bit too long, like 10, 15 minutes extra, it drags on a little bit. But other than that, it's a good movie. It's a good documentary. And stuff like that. But yeah, so until next time. If you see this movie, I got this movie at my local thrift for 99 cents. If you see this movie at like documentary at like garage sale or thrift store for cheap, you can go ahead and pick it up. Or if you see it on like Amazon Prime, because Amazon Prime, Netflix might have some of these documentaries, but Amazon Prime is kind of like the one where they'll have like a ton of movies on there on Amazon. It's like buy or rent. They'll have like a ton of them. These like low budget like documentaries. This seems like it's a really low budget documentary. And film wise, because I think use like one guy to be like a camera crew to do all the filming with, and then you need like very minimalist crew there you might need someone to edit the movie, or a couple people on there on doing this film to be like really low budget. It's just really low budget movie, but whatever. It's kind of this really low budget mass produced movie. I don't know. It's kind of a flop though. I say it's like a 6.5 out of 10. But you're never gonna find out about these documentaries are like low budget movies like this, or you never heard of it until you actually watch it. You're not gonna find out if it's a good one or not. But it is what it is. But till next time, take care.